Hello everyone and welcome to The Good Old Gamer. So, as you guys have noticed, this is a little bit different of a setup. I went ahead and finally got my desk situated, got the cool lighting going on, and I'm testing out a shotgun mic and a bunch of other things. So this is going to be done a little bit different. We'll see how this goes. I kind of like the aesthetics of this setup. It's also much easier. I don't know, I just kind of like it. You guys let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. But alrighty guys, in today's video, what I want to talk to you guys about is just kind of a revelation that hit me here today. So today my wife had off. Sorry I couldn't make the Techonomics podcast. We kind of wanted to do some family stuff. We were planning on visiting her dad for like dinner and stuff. That didn't pan out. The boys were getting tired and everything. But anyways, we went running around. We hit up some flea markets, some antique malls, some pawn shops, and came up with some pretty interesting stuff. So I'm going to show you guys some of the pickups that is definitely from a new source that I've never done before, and I can see potentially being very good. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I also wanted to let you guys know some of the feedback or response that I've had with that big collection that I bought from the previous video. That's been doing extremely well. I've only put up a few pieces online thus far, and that's garnered a lot of attention. And this has really kind of all come together and really shown me probably the best way moving forward for me and this business. And I wanted to share that with you guys. Once you kind of get to a certain level of scale, kind of the next steps, I think. So that's what I want to talk about here today in this video. The next steps after you've kind of started doing some reselling, whether you've done what I did, which is use a pretty substantial amount of startup capital to get you moving. That kind of gives you a head start. You don't really need to do the, those $10 challenges. You don't need to worry about flipping, like $2 games for like $12 too terribly often. You could basically bypass that step and go on to the bigger stuff, $25, $30 games and sell them for like $50 or $60, right? So you can kind of skip that step. Or if you're starting at the beginning, I am still debating on doing a $10 challenge. I kind of was starting to get into that here last week, but then that big deal came up and it kind of sidetracked everything. And then with my revelation here today, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do that. A lot of other people have done that. It is fun. It definitely seems like it would be fun, but I'm still trying to get the business completely off of its feet. It's definitely on its way. We're already very, very close to profitability starting off. So this is what, month 2 maybe? Month and a half, 2 months. We're not too terribly far into it. Now, I've had a lot of prior experience selling online, things like eBay. I've done sales my entire adult life. So I've kind of had a jump start from maybe where you are, so it might take you a little longer to get there. But after buying this collection, so I put up a few of the heavier hitting items onto eBay just to try to recover my initial investment as fast as possible. In the very first night, I've recovered $200 just off of eBay, and then through various and sundry other sales, another $200 or $300. So if you guys are keeping track, we spent $900. We're already more than halfway recovered in just a few days. And how this ties in with my experience today is, we ran around all day. We had some fun. We checked out some stuff. Honestly, for me, at least in my area, the flea market scene is completely useless. There's just nothing there. If you happen to find a game, it's going to be massively overpriced and probably something you don't want to buy anyway. I've yet to really find anything other than, the game guys who have like a gaming booth, basically what I'm doing, and they're selling at market price. So, yeah, you could shop those guys. You could probably find them slipping on 1 or 2 items. That's fine. It's definitely worth checking those guys out. But I wouldn't consider them a real source. So one of my biggest things that I've kind of realized is flea markets, at least for me, don't make a whole lot of sense. Now, I am starting to look for some oddball items. If you guys see the little TV behind me, this is going to become a little infamous. Everybody wants to buy it off of me, too, because I use it for demonstration. Hey, this is working, right? I'm showing the consoles and stuff working. People don't realize that I don't want to sell it, so if they want to buy it, they're going to have to pay way over market value. Because, I don't actually want to sell it to them. But anyways, I want to start picking up smaller TVs like that, like 13-inch TVs that have composite inputs, RCA inputs on the front, just very easy to hook up consoles. They go really good for kids and things like that. That's kind of where I think flea markets might come into play. But even that sort of stuff, I'm not really finding out there. There's one spot, I know there's one sitting in a corner, but I don't think it has the inputs on the front like I would want to sell to people. The price was good. It was $15 last time I saw it. It was a couple months ago. I bet it's still there. It's in the back of some really small hole-in-the-wall flea market. But that's the only one. And we checked out a bunch of new ones here today that I've never been to before, and they just have nothing. So for me, I think it's going to be very, very rare that I hit one of those up. I think for CRT TVs, I may have to target my search. I'm not really sure where you would go to find those. But I'll have to figure something out, I suppose. And yeah, so that's a sourcing option that a lot of people use, and that's kind of just doesn't make sense for me. Now, another option a lot of people like to use on the internet anyway is they like to go thrifting, you know, to like Goodwills and stuff like that. And we actually hit a mom and the pop thrift store here today. It was just kind of on the way, and we took a little quick stop in there. You know, there was some stuff there. It just wasn't worth my time. You know, the random super low dollar stuff. If you get real lucky, maybe you'll hit a game that's worth like $25. Now, granted, you could hit a mega score, and that's the reason why a lot of people do it. If you're into a lot of different niches, yeah, you could pick up, you know, stuff here and there. There are people that are successful at it, but you have to be very varied in what you're looking for. For me, I want to be very narrow focused. I want to be very specialized in video games, PC hardware, stuff like that. PC hardware you just don't find. Obviously, I have all the expertise in the world on that stuff. It's just not out there. That's just not what people sell, you know, out and about. So, gotta pretty much just stick with video games, those you can find. And yeah, as I mentioned, those just sourcing options don't really work so well for me. So, after going through this big deal, what seems to make the most sense with the level that I'm at, with the cash flow that I have coming in and out, I think that I'm just at the point now where I'm just going to need to buy collections, and I'm going to have to actively advertise that a little bit more. So I did a little bit of advertising. It was in that video when I did the booth. Hey, if you want to do buy, sell, trade, maybe I'll throw up some footage here. You know, just hit up my email, just theGoodOldGamer@gmail.com. You guys can email me as well if you guys do want to go ahead and sell anything. And that's pretty much the next sourcing step. This video has two purposes. Number one, to let you guys know, yes, I am interested in buying collections. Yes, I'm interested in paying up real money. Like the last guy was pretty much floored when I offered him $850 straight off the bat. I think he was thinking I was going to offer him like $200 or $300. Of course, he had to haggle a little bit, but that was fine. He worked me up to $925. Totally worth it. I'm happy with it. He's very happy with it. So if you guys are out there and you're watching and you have a bunch of video games laying around, hey, shoot me an email. Take some pictures. Give me a list. Best thing you can do is go on price charting. Just put everything you have in there. This way we have a general idea of where the value is. Pictures will be necessary for condition and stuff like that. And yeah, I'd be more than happy to take a look at those. I don't have unlimited funds, so if 100 of you guys are like, hey, I want to sell you $10,000 worth of video games, well, I don't have that. But we can definitely work through it, and we can definitely make out a deal. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, is to let you guys know, hey, if you have anything and you are interested in selling, reach on out. It could be something small. It doesn't have to be this giant, massive collection. It could be a small little lot, you know, just a handful of N64 games or old NES games, whatever. We can work it out. We'll be fair. So depending on condition, typically I do want to be around 50% of price charting. I will go up to 60%. I will go up to 65% on very fast moving in high demand items, such as Super Mario 64s. Can't keep them in stock. I'll pay you 65% of price charting, assuming condition is good. If it's in poor condition, well, obviously that's going to drop down. Super Mario Sunshine, Smash Brothers Melee, like those I just can't keep in. I get them, they're gone. I literally have waiting lists for these things. So when I get them, they're instantly gone. So I will go up to 65%, but typically I'm going to be around 50 on almost all things. Now, the second reason why I really wanted to do this video was to not only tell you guys that once you kind of get to scale, you may have noticed a lot of YouTubers, that's what they do. They buy collections, they buy stuff from the audience. This is kind of like an advertising platform for them. And it makes a lot of sense. You know, this goes out to thousands, millions, hundreds of millions of people. You know, it's one of the easiest ways to kind of reach on out and say, hey, I'm looking for this stuff. If you have this stuff, I will pay you solid money for this stuff, you know? So that's probably why they do it, but it's also kind of the only way to do it, right? So you can't just go to the flea markets or, you know, your pawn shops or even game stores, and just buy really nice premium items on the regular. The only way to really get these things regularly is to source outside of, kind of the normal conventions. So that's pretty much the revelation that hit me here today is I'm going to need to start buying more collections. Probably one a week would make the most sense to keep the inventory levels that I'm happy with. And this way I can sell the volume that, I'm comfortable with. Now, with that being said, I am going to go ahead and put a link to my eBay store, or my it's not really a store. I'm not doing it as a store. I'm just doing it as a regular Joe Schmo. But I'm going to put my eBay thing down below. The main reason why I didn't change that over to the Good Old Gamer one is I didn't want to start back at rep 0. I've got like a 300 or something reputation. This account's been around for a long time. I need this stuff to move fast. Maybe eventually I'll start building up the Good Old Gamer one. I did make it, but starting from 0, I didn't want to start selling $100 plus games with an account without any reputation. So that's the main reason why I did that. But anyways, you guys can check that out. You guys can keep an eye on that sort of stuff. Now, if you're in the Discord, you can get access to anything I'm talking about. Well, before anybody else, because you get access to the videos, you'll see what's coming on. So you can be like, hey, I'm interested in whatever you were showing. Actually, I had just a regular viewer. He's not a member. He shot an email off. He was interested in the Game Boy box the other day. Looks like maybe I was priced a little higher than he was expecting or something. I don't know. But anyways, he reached on out. I gave him what I felt to be a fair offer. He decided not to take it, but that's cool too. If you just want to shoot me an email and be like, hey, I'm interested in this. Everybody else kind of gets first dibs, but I'd be more than happy to take care of you after, the supporters of the channel get their shot. And then this is kind of another reason why I wanted to do this quick little video is the YouTube algorithm. So a lot of my older videos are still kind of clogging up, your top 10 videos. So I'm going to need to pump out videos a little bit more frequently. So they might not be as polished, they might not be as detailed, but I'm going to have to pump out some content. So this way YouTube's like, oh, they're doing something different on the channel. The view count's going to be lower. I'm actually pretty happy with the view count. We're getting about 1,000 views of videos still, which is pretty good considering a complete shift. So I want to thank all of you guys for continuing to watch and support and everything. Love you all. Great community. Just looking forward to building up the new community because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and I hope to hear a lot of success stories out of you guys in the comment sections in the not-too-distant future. But anyways, I got to pump out content so this way YouTube will start recommending videos instead of like a video being like 8 out of 10 because 5 or 6 of them were previous PC content that the channel was doing before, and basically it's just skewing it. So I got to get the videos rolling a little bit faster so YouTube will actually start recommending the new type of videos, and then we can start building the new community there. And then lastly, I came across some interesting sourcing opportunities that are different that I never thought of. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of those stores where they buy the pallets of Amazon stuff and kind of just bin them out. I don't know what they're calling them here. Just bin stores. I hear that reference sometimes. Not really sure of, the terminology. But anyways, we went into a couple of them here today. One of them was a complete bust. But one of them had an entire shelf, or an entire display case actually, of video games. Sealed video games. These are new. So this is a new product. So I'm going to real quick, I'm going to pause here. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what we got. All right, so I forgot I don't have a light over there, so I'm just going to show you guys right here what I picked up. So I picked up a few games that weren't too terribly expensive, but I figure will probably have value at some point. So that's kind of the avenue I'm looking at for these. These are kind of an investment into the future sort of thing. So I picked up Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. This one's got the slip cover. This is anniversary edition. It's like a special edition one. As you can see here, it's got a $10 sticker on there. I think this one's going for like 15 or so, somewhere in that neighborhood. Most of these are about 50% more than what I paid for them. So not a huge savings, or if I decided to sell it, it wouldn't really make me much today. But what I'm thinking is, like I said, you buy these cheap and then you sit on them for a year or two, once the supply runs out, and then the value on these start going up, then you sell. So I think that these are going to be short-term holds. I think that's kind of what I'm going to try on these guys. So I picked this up. This was $10. It's not too bad. This one I don't think is really going to do all that well. I'm not really sure, but it was cheap enough that it was worth the gamble. So I pick up Star Wars Squadrons on the Xbox One or Series or whatever, the Xbox lineup. It was only $5, not the 20. So I actually had one of these sealed for a long time, and then I was like, I'm just going to play it. And then it just kind of ticked me off that I opened it up because I'm like, that might have been worth something. Anyways, it's a Star Wars game for $5. I'm going to sit on it for, like I said, maybe a year, maybe two, and see if we can double or triple or quadruple our money on this. Because it's new sealed, seems very probable. So we'll test this guy out. This one is kind of the only one I'm like, maybe not. But anyways, we did that one. Now this one is actually already a winner. So this is God of War 3 Remastered on PS4. Went ahead and got this for $10. It's got the sticker on there. I don't know if you can see them. But anyways, for $10, these are actually already $20. So this is already a double up. They did have more. Part of me was like, just go buy them and double them up. Yeah, but, if you sell it for 20, free shipping on eBay or something, that's really 16, and then they're going to take, $3 off of 16, so now you're down to $13. I'd walk away with about $3 a piece. I still think that this is still going to be a buy and hold. Once they clear through inventory, I mean, it is a greatest hits or a PlayStation hits, so that might be a while. But God of War games, I think that it will definitely be worth $20 or more in the future. So I figured that was a pretty good investment right there. We got this one. The more I think about it, I probably should have got more of these. So this is Samurai Showdown on the Xbox One. I'm unfamiliar with this particular version of Samurai Showdown. I remember the one on Super Nintendo. But anyways, it was only $5. And this one I think's already worth 12 or so. So this one's probably value-wise one of the best ones that I've got today. And I think that this one will actually age really well. A lot of these kind of, it's a name brand, Samurai Showdown. That's a big thing. SNK is a big company. But it's not something that's hot. Not a lot of people are going to buy it. It's obviously very cheap right now. But in the future, when collectors want to start collecting Xbox One stuff, this is probably going to be pretty rare. So the next time I go back there, if they still have any of these at $5, I'm probably going to buy all of them, honestly. I think they had 5 or 6 of them. So this, I think, is going to do pretty well. And at $5, it's a very, very small risk, right? So let's say it doesn't pan out. It's always going to be worth at least $5. Nothing's worth less than $5. Most sealed stuff's going to be worth no less than 10. So at the very least, I feel pretty good at doubling my money, but some of these could hit a lot higher. So I think that that's going to be one of the bigger ones. I picked up this guy right here. So this is Plants vs. Zombies. Battle for the Neighborhoodville. This is also a $5 job. I don't know. I just figured worst case scenario, if I'm stuck with it, this is going to be fun with the kids in the future, right? So I'm mitigating the risk a little bit. Like I said, it's going to be worth at least 10, but if I'm I'd rather just play with my kids, that's fine too. So that was kind of my thought there. That kind of went into this one, but I think that this guy's actually going to go on up. So we got SpongeBob, Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated. This one was 10. These are only going for about 12. So this is basically the value of what it is. So I've basically paid what it's worth. But at the same time, this is SpongeBob stuff. It's kind of hit or miss. It's got its own cult following. I'm thinking maybe it'll do a thing. All right, so the way that it worked is they had 3 shelving levels in the case. So the top level was $5. Any game on there was $5. Then the next one was $10. And then down below, they had their price stuff. Most of them were $25 or $35. That's where my knowledge of modern games on consoles kind of left me. There's a lot of games that get produced. It's really kind of hard to tell which ones are going to be valuable in the future. A lot of the anime stuff, if you look at PlayStation 1 and 2 games, the more anime stuff you see, probably the more valuable it is. It's not really the case anymore. There's anime crap everywhere. It's not the same sort of thing. Back when I was in middle school, in the mid-90s, anime stuff was super rare, at least where I lived. I had to go get bootleg Dragon Ball stuff. That was the only way to get it. So the world has changed, so I wasn't going to go spending $25 on a game that I knew nothing about, just because I'm I've never heard of this. It's some random anime thing. Like I said, if it was a PlayStation 2 game sealed, some random anime people and a game that I've never heard of, I would instantly buy it, because that means it's probably worth something. Not so much the case now. So next time I go, I'm actually just going to ask them to take one of each out, and I'm just going to price chart them right there. I felt a little weird about it because we were actually going to leave. We bought the kids some stuff, and we were going to leave, and they had toys that they wanted. And then I just kind of noticed as we were paying, right behind her, there was a shelf facing away from us, or a display case away from us. And I'm like, you got games over there? Like, how's this work? Are those like for the internet, or like, what are you doing? And she's like, no, you enter through this other door and there's like a whole other part of the store. I'm like, okay, because that makes sense. But anyways, we went over there and I checked them out, and that's how they do it. I didn't want to go ahead and be that guy because, like I said, we were already ready to go. The kids were ready to go. My wife was pretty much ready to go. And yes, look, I want to check out every game you have, and I'm going to see if I can make money off of it right this very second. Didn't want to do it at that moment. But the next time I go, that's going to be the mindset that I have. I'm just going to walk right in and be like, I'd like to see one of everything, and then just kind of go from there. So the moral of this story, the reason why I bring all of this up, is this is a new sourcing option. This is very popular around here. Not in the city that I live in, but I know like kind of everywhere around me, this is what they're doing. They have these shops where they just buy these pallets. If you ever watch the channel Chasing the Right Price, he just bought some pallets. He's starting to do it himself, just full of returns and whatnot, and selling the things. I would never want to deal with that much inventory and testing and whatnot, but I would much rather somebody else do it, and then I can kind of pick off the scraps. There's enough people doing this, at least where I live, that there's a lot of scraps to choose from. And with sealed product, there's a couple different ways you can go. If I got some good like Switch games, like some Super Marios and things like that, I would actually literally be checking the condition and potentially getting them graded. So Marios, Zeldas, Pokemon, those get graded. The God of War, if it was not the Platinum Hits or Greatest Hits version, I would probably do the same thing with that. Like huge franchises, and if they're in mint condition, I would probably spend the money, get them graded, and let them sit on a shelf. And this is going to be more of a long-term investment. Like I said, these guys I'm probably just going to hold on to. Maybe if somebody's like, hey, you know, I'm looking to buy, you know, this game, you know, that I have. Samurai Showdown. Let's use that as an example. Do you have that on Xbox? I'll be like, yeah, I got one. It's new sealed. Maybe I'd tell them $15, right? So it's price charting at 12 something. I'll go above price charting just so it's kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to sell it. But if you want to pay me more than it's actually worth, I can't say no. It's just like this TV right here. It's worth about $150. You can go on eBay and buy one in similar condition, $150. Everybody asks me how much you want for it. $200. You pay me $200, I'll sell something that I don't really want to sell because you're willing to pay significantly more than market value. So I could do something to that effect, but I kind of want to sit on them, like I said, for about a year, maybe 2 years, and just kind of see where they are. Let the inventory flush through the system once all the new stuff is gone, and then kind of see where things land then. So this is a more of a long-term investment, or I guess you could call it short-term. It's definitely longer than our normal strategy of buy something, clean it up, and sell it within a week. But at such low prices, $5 to $10 a piece, it's a very low investment. And personally, I think within 2 years, I should be able to double to triple my money on most of these, which is really awesome. Anybody out there who's good with finances, if you could double or triple your money in 2 years, is that a good thing? Ask any financial advisor if that's a good strategy. Now, I can't guarantee that that's going to happen, but I think for such a small investment, $50 here, $50 there, I think that would be something that'd be worth testing at least. Now, a year or two comes around, and let's say they don't really move, nothing really changes. Well, what am I out? A couple $100? Well, I'm not out anything. I just get my money back, minus inflation, hopefully plus inflation. So to me, it seems very low risk. And that's why I'm willing to do it. But I did want to mention that to you guys as a possible option for you. Maybe you're not somebody who wants to go around buying up tons of stuff and selling and flipping, but maybe you do want to make a little extra money. You can go hunt down some of these places, like I said, where they're selling this Amazon return stuff, or, I mean, this is all new sealed stuff. All the places that I went, it was all new in box. So they're just buying the pallets of stuff and just piecing them out and selling them cheap. If you have that around you, you can start, finding the video game sections of these places and, stick some in a cabinet for a year or two and, just sell them on eBay. If you make, a couple bucks profit, cool. If you make a lot of bucks profit, I would like, you know, some serious thumbs up. That'd be really, really great. But it might be worth testing out, and if that business model, which seems to be booming right now, continues and you can continue to source that way, you could just kind of keep doing it and just grow your money even faster. So it's just something that I figured out. It might be kind of cool, might be useful to you, may not apply, might not be an option around you guys, but I just wanted to let you know that's a good option. The second option, or the second thing that I'm really going to start leaning heavy into, like I said, is buying the collections. That seems the much better option instead of running around trying to find, you know, random stuff. People will literally say, this is what I have. I know exactly what I'm getting, instead of running around going, I have no idea what I'm going to find today. So I did find some stuff. I got these guys. I got a couple GameCube games. I got an Animal Crossing on GameCube and a Spyro. Did okay on those, but literally all day, all I got was these guys, those, and I swung and missed at a pawn shop outside of town. I took a few shots there. Didn't quite pan out. I think we're probably 50% on our money, but it was low dollar stuff, right? So it's just not worth it. I'm just going to probably put them in the booth at the flea market, and if they sell, they sell. If they don't, I'll just, you know, I'll probably just trade them in somewhere, honestly. But alrighty, guys, that'll do it for me here today. Let me know what you guys think about this sort of stuff. These sort of new investment opportunities for gamers that just kind of pop up and that I find. Do you find this useful? Is it beneficial? Are you going to try any of this stuff? Have you tried flipping anything? Excuse me. I know some of the guys in the Discord, they are starting to get into it, which is really awesome to see. They're kind of doing it in their own way, which is really, really great. I'd like to hear about your guys' experience. Are you having any success, and are you having fun with it? And to me, that's the most important thing. If you are trying this, are you having fun? Because for me, it's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast. It's a lot of work. You guys see the shirt here? Yeah, perpetually tired. That is definitely me. I don't really sleep anymore. I've lost 20 pounds since starting this. It's pretty nuts. But anyways, I'm having fun, though. At the end of the day, that's really what it is. I'm making money and I'm having fun. And I really just want to share that with you guys. So, alrighty, guys, that'll do it for me here today. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all the YouTube stuff. Thank you so much. Let me know what you guys think of this setup. Is the audio okay? I don't even know if this is going to work out well or not. But hopefully it's good enough, at least for this one video. I think I'm going to get one of those, like, wireless microphone guys or something. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can hang something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If this works good enough, we'll just do this. But thank you guys for all your support and sticking around. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.